Many people talk about mastery and have achieved mastery themselves. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, right? Like anyone you can really think of, like that has achieved an incredible level of success in like great musical artists like the Beatles, that they were pretty famous. Just all of them have achieved mastery in their specific endeavor. We kind of want success in this world in some form. Maybe it's because it'll make us feel good, or maybe it'll make us feel good because other people will make us feel good. Whatever way it is, we kind of want some sort of success or validation, or we just want to get really, really good at something. And we also want the results from being good at that thing. And this might be confusing to some people, but we want this. And here's some things that have really helped me, and I'm really focusing on in my own life to just help me get really good at the thing I'm trying to master, which is incredibly important. Like if you think about it, like what could be more cool in your life than mastering a specific skill? Like what could be more cool, bro? I don't know, bro, but all my life I've sort of I've I've just wanted to be good at something. Like ever since I was a kid, like 8 years old, I'd be playing like with like Lego bricks, and I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna get so good at this that I'm gonna be building skyscrapers one day, bro. Like I've always just wanted to get really, really good. I've always had this sort of deep ambition to just master something. And it's only now that I'm a bit older that I know that this desire is really, it's powerful, right? And it's possible, right? Like you can actually master something. It's not like a fantasy. It's like people actually do this every single day. There are actually people right now in the world who will be literally celebrities 6 years from now because they're mastering something now. So here's some things that I've learned about mastery as I've been going through this journey, and I'll keep you updated as we go on in this journey of discovering mastery. But here we go. So I'll make a few steps for you. So step one, I want you to write a list out of the things that you kind of want to master. So this is important because if you can make this list as short as you possibly can, it increases the mastery of the skill, if that makes sense. So you can get a piece of paper, or you can open like a doc or just something. Just write a list of every single thing that you're trying to master or you want to master. And then the second step is to just eliminate all of the things that you kind of, like just eliminate as many of them as you can. Just eliminate like, well, that one I don't really need, I don't like, because yo, bro, if you had done this with me a year ago, I swear, I was trying to get good at guitar. I really wanted to like get great at like chess. Trying to think, like I had some projects I was doing, like some like construction projects. I had so much going on. Like I had this YouTube channel. I had this isn't even the start. I was doing fitness as well. I was also like my list just went on and on and on. Like I'm trying to remember. It's hard to remember because it's been a year, but I basically the list was just endless. Right? I think there were like 8 or 9 things I was trying to do all at once. I want you to write all those things out on paper. What are you actually trying to do? What are you trying to like master? And then one by one, cross them off. And this will be a little painful right now, but every single one you cross off, that's like a 10% boost in progress to everything else. Now, obviously, if you just cross it off the list, it's not going to make much of a difference. You've got to actually eliminate it from your life. And most people won't do this. That's why most people don't achieve mastery. Because they're not willing to sacrifice the guitar or the chess right now to achieve mastery in something else. So you can click off this video and you can be like most people, and you can sort of like pretend you're going to be really good at like 17 different things. Well, I'm going to be the next Leonardo da Vinci, eh? Or you can just be real, and you can just be like, okay, bro, like half of these things I don't even really care about. I'm just doing because it's like cool. And just start to cross them out one by one. Until like until there's like just as little as you possibly can. Like, there doesn't have to be a specific number, but like, I don't know, aim for like less than 10 topics of your life. 10 or less topics of your life. This isn't more for you, the topics of your life. These are more the things you're trying to master. Like, I'll literally tell you the things I want to master right now. Like literally, my list is so short. I could literally, and this isn't as cool, right? Like, this is not cool, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna master 2 things in my life, bro. It's like, you tell that to your friends, they're like, oh, cool, bro. Like, no one gives one, bro. If you say you're trying to get good at guitar and chess, and I'm also got this other thing, and this, but it's all pointless because you're not gonna get good at any of it. If you want to get good, you've got to eliminate. If you want to get like kind of cool at a few things, there are some other techniques you can do for that, like the 2080 principle. You've got like a lot of things that you can do. Like, I think like 80% of a language you can learn like 20% of the time. So there's tons of like theories and ways you can get around that, right? But this is for mastery. This is for getting good, right? Eliminate. Do you think Elon Musk is sat there trying to learn the strings of a guitar? No, he's working on his Tesla and his SpaceX. Oh, but he's got multiple businesses. But he worked on one at a time. I think he started PayPal in like when did Elon Musk start PayPal? Like, it was like 2007 or something. And that's just a rough guess. Like, he probably started it around then. 2007, that was 16 years ago, bro. Or like longer if you're watching this in the future. Like, he did it over a very, very long time span. If you want to do it over the next 2 decades, then fine, bro. But you got to focus on one thing right now, otherwise nothing's going to change, bro. My list is YouTube, sprinting. I've got like a project that's going to be finished sometime early next year. I've got some health things I want to work out. My family, a girlfriend. End of list. Nothing else. Boom, done. That's me. That's my life. That's how short your list needs to be, bro. That's the list for like all of the topics of my life. If you wanted to nail it down to the things I want to master, literally this YouTube channel and maybe sprinting. Like, that's genuinely like maybe. Like, I'm like a maybe on that one, bro. Right? One thing, possibly 2. That's my life. Right? That's how obsessed you need to be. That's how elimination you've got to be, bro. Wow. I'm pretty sure I want to do sprinting, but I think I need to get more into it to learn, like, yes, this is really what I want to do. I haven't done that just yet because I'm more focused on this YouTube channel right now. But once you have boiled down your list to just the smallest amount of things, step 2, obsess over them. Like, you want to get so good at these things. You want to be setting goals, bro. You want to be like, there are like some techniques I'll teach you in a second that will help you get good at these. But until you've listed them out and until you've eliminated all the garbage that you're doing, none of this really matters. None of this really matters unless you're down to your 2 things. Your 2 things. Like, for me, it could be 4, 5. Like, it doesn't have to be so ridiculously short as mine. But the shorter it is, the more mastery you'll get, and the quicker you'll master it as well. If you have a list of 10 things right now, you might master all of them by the time you're 70. And that's not even a joke. And that's only if you stick to them. And that's excluding, like, if you have to get a job to make money at some point. Right? Like, this is the kind of mindset you gotta have. You gotta eliminate it all. Because it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill. You've probably heard this a lot, right? It takes 10,000 hours to master a skill. That's what you gotta be. This is step 2. You've gotta align. You've gotta work hard towards it. You've gotta actually think like, okay, Sam just said it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill. I'll get out this little journal and I'll be like, okay, how do I plan on investing 10,000 hours into this skill? I've journaled this for this YouTube channel, bro. I've genuinely thought, how could I put 10,000 hours into this YouTube channel? And I've come up with like, oh, maybe I could, this is what you've got to be like. You've got to be like, how do I put that amount of time in? And there was a really great definition I heard earlier. I'll pull it up real quick. Something about like deliberate practice and this whole 10,000 hours principle. I really liked it. So this is from the guy that literally invented the 10,000 hours principle. Now, you can spend 10,000 hours practicing a skill, but it's pretty irrelevant unless it's like good practice. So you can kind of think of it like there's bad practice and there's good practice. Good practice, you could genuinely master a skill in like 2,500 hours. If you do it well enough though, if you like, you know, like you probably still want to put the 10,000 hours even, but like it really depends, bro, how well you can do this. So there's a certain technique you can do called focused deliberate practice. So focused deliberate practice on the area of weakness for 10,000 hours to achieve mastery. You can literally write that down, stick it on your wall, like do whatever you want with that line. Focused deliberate practice on the area of weakness for 10,000 hours to achieve mastery. So I'll sum that up for you if it's just a bit complicated. So it's complicated for me at first. You got to really like think about it for like a minute before you sort of understand it. So make your practice focused. So like when you're, let's just say that your one thing you want to master is guitar. Like if you're playing the guitar but then you're checking your phone and then you spend like half the time on your phone, it's like that's not focused, right? You want to be just focused completely on the thing. You're doing nothing but the thing, right? Doing nothing but the thing as you actually practiced. You want it to be deliberate practice. So a lot of people, they'll pick up a guitar and they'll play a song. So I'm using guitar just an example because it's a good example. They do what I used to do, which is pick up the guitar and just play the song that they already know how to know in the way that they already know how to know, and like just do that because it sounds cool. That's not deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is specifically when you're trying to change something, right? When you're trying to get like that 0.1% better. If you're just doing something the way you know how to do, like I fall prey to this again and again and again. Like for my chess, I would always do the same 5 moves in the beginning. That's not deliberate practice. That's just doing the same moves in the beginning. But it's not. You're not growing. You're not changing. You're just doing the same 5 moves. You've got to learn how to do the best 5 moves, not just the same 5 moves. And that comes from deliberate practice of trial and error and just trying to get good and like specifically practicing an actionable step. Something immediate which you can get from learning, but like that's probably beyond this video. Right? I'm thinking of making like 10-hour video on that, bro. Like maybe not actually 10 hours, but and then specifically you want to be focused, deliberate practice on the area of weakness, the constraint. So this is something that all successful people do. All the athletes do this. All the entrepreneurs do this. All the Elon Musks out there do this. They're not focused on their strengths. They never have been and they never will. And yet, you still focus on your strengths. Sorry, like, no successful person is sitting there thinking, what is my strengths? How can I use them? They don't. What I hear them say over and over and over, from the videos I watch, from the things I learn, from the books I read, they focus on the area of constraint. What is constraining them from getting from point A to point B? It's never about, like, imagine a ship, and it's a massive ship, and it's got an incredible sail, but there's a small hole underneath the ship, and water is starting to come through very slowly. A person who's focused on his constraints will be like, focused on his strengths will be like, oh, let's just try and, go forward as fast as we possibly can, like the sail's massive, the ship is huge. One small hole ain't gonna do anything, right? Just keep on going. That small hole is the constraint. Slowly the water starts to come up and up and up, and the ship starts to get a bit slower, but it's got a massive sail. Come on, come fast, come on. slower and slower and slower. Slowly, that small hole is actually going out a bit. Like it's a bigger hole now. The water is starting to come up. Like water's like up to your ankles now, man. But still, focus on your strengths. Come on, go faster. Come on, like take the propellers off of the top bit. Yeah, yeah. Let that go a bit faster. And then just the water keeps rising, and I think we can kind of sum up what happened in the end. The ship sunk. Focus on your strengths never lasts, especially for the long term. But the captain that goes down and actually just pairs up the hole, even though he's got a massive sail, and then pairs up the other hole and the other hole, and then fixes up the curtain rail, and then, replaces some of the wood panels because they're starting to get a little damp. That's the person that's going to have the best ship. That's the person who's going to sail very, very far. It's all about your constraints. It's all about the thing that's stopping you from getting to the next level. So, I do this for my videos every single day. My biggest constraint, like, this is the kind of stuff I spend 8 hours a day doing. Like, the stuff I'm talking about now, I'm not some guy who just says, this is something cool I learned. Like, I genuinely spend 8 hours a day doing this. I'm not this sort of like I genuinely have a flipping a document on Notion with like 10 subpages just on this thing I'm talking about right now. This is huge right now for me. So for my YouTube channel, for these videos you're watching right now, I realized that my biggest constraint at one point was that my videos were not interesting as hell, and it's probably still a pretty good big constraint for me, right? My videos just weren't interesting. I didn't even want to watch them. They weren't interesting. They just weren't. And sometimes a lot of these constraints are hard to accept because we like to brush over them, but my videos just weren't interesting, right? I was pretty cool on camera. I think I'm pretty good on camera. What do you think? But why would you click? It's a waste of time. It's not interesting. Oh, top, like the kind of videos I post would be like, trying to think, like, it would just be like something that isn't interesting, right? It would be like the best diet. Cool. Like I don't care. Like the best diet. Okay, cool. Best diet video. I don't really care, bro. Like, yeah, sure, you can have your best diet. Like, I don't care. Like, make something interesting, bro. Like, and then like the second I fix that, I say fixed because I'm still working on it myself. Like, constraints are some of those things where I think it's gonna take doing it, not just doing it once. I don't think you can fix a constraint just once. I think you got to do it twice and 3, 4, 5. I think it takes repetition to fix constraints. But the second I fixed that constraint, and to be fair, it did take a couple of days, right? I was trying different things, and I was sort of experimenting with different videos, but then literally 2 days after I discovered my constraint, I discovered that my videos weren't interesting. I found some stuff online on making interesting videos. 2 days later, I made a video and it got like a load of views, right? And it was more views than I've ever gotten on this YouTube channel, like, and that's in over a year of making videos. More views than over the entire year. It wasn't like by far, but it was like incredible. Like, whoa, like this is in one day as well. This is incredible, bro. And of course it like died off, but like this stuff works, bro. Like you can click on my channel page, scroll down on the videos, and you can literally see, and then or you can click it to popular, and you can see the most like popular video, unless you're watching this years in the future, and then it's probably changed since then, right? Like I hope it's changed since then, but literally you can just see that I uploaded that video like literally 3 days before this one. This is how you achieve real success. It's about the constraint. It's about the thing that's stopping you from getting. This is huge right now. So, like, all of the successful people are doing this right now. They're just focusing on the constraint. What's the area of weakness? And then they just keep doing this over and over and over. What is your constraint? Ask that. Literally just stare at your wall and ask yourself that for the next 10 minutes. Click off this video, no distractions, just 10 minutes. What is your constraint? Because you can focus on your strengths, bro. But nothing will change. Because there's something constraining you right now that you probably don't even want to admit. It's the thing that you should be working on but aren't. It's the area that will give you the most growth. Focus on that, bro. I've got so many other constraints I could tell you right now, but we're not going to go too much deeper into it. I kind of just want to finish this off because I don't want this video to be too long. But shoot, what we got here? Okay, so what was that? Step 3, was it? Or step 2? I think that was step 3, right? So step 1, we'll just do a quick recap. So step 1 was listing out all of your constraints and just eliminating them. Oh, sorry, no. All of the things you want to master, and then eliminating the ones that you don't really care about. Now you've got a couple things that you really care about, and now you're trying to really practice them hard and get good at them, and trying to like deliberate practice them. And now you're trying to do this, which is like focus, deliberate practice on the area of weakness for 10,000 hours. Stare at the thing with almost like a deathly stare. Whatever the thing is, stare at it like you're staring into death. Right? If you're playing guitar, stare at it like you're staring into death. Like genuinely, like that's what focus is. Just stare at it. Like I've got a rule for when I'm working and just learning. Well, most of my work is just learning, to be fair. So I'll literally just start learning. My rule is I'm not allowed to take my eyes off the computer screen. Literally, I swear that increases my focus by 40%, just like that. It's a quick boost, quick 40% boost for focus right there. Just don't take your eyes off the thing you're doing, and your focus will literally be boosted by 40%, just like that. So that will help you out. Deliberate practice, just learn stuff about the thing you're doing. Area of weakness, just ask yourself for the next 10 minutes, what is the constraint? And then try and do that for the next 10,000 hours. that's joking, bro. But try and do the things that you genuinely stick to for the next 10 years. This is what you should be thinking about, right? If you want to achieve great success in this world, ask yourself, what would I genuinely stick to for the next decade? Like imagine you're like, whatever your age is now, plus 10 years. So say you're 13, and then plus 10 years, you're 23, right? What would I genuinely stick to until I'm 23? So I'm 15, right? What would I genuinely stick to until I'm 25 years old? 25 years old. If I could answer that question, if I could genuinely answer that question with honesty, there is nothing stopping me from being successful. The biggest thing holding people back is probably the fact that they can't stick to something for 10 years. No matter who you are, if you could stick to something for 10 years, even if you work at it like sloppy and trash, you'd still be very successful. I hope that the thing I'm doing now, I will be sticking to for the next 10 years. But I can only sort of guess. Because I don't try to predict the future too much. Although I'm certain that if I stuck to this for 10 years, I'd be very successful. Then again, if I stuck to anything for 10 years, I'd be successful. And I don't know, 4 years down the line, I could change my mind, bro. And then that's the thing you've got to really think about. That's the ultimate question. If you can answer that question, what would I genuinely stick to for the next 10 years? You can achieve success in whatever your endeavor is. But it's a hard question to answer. And I don't even know if this is the thing, right? This is the most meaningful thing in my life right now. Me talking to you. But I can't even say, like, I can't even tell you that this will last for the next 10 years. Because 10 years is a long time, bro. Like, Jesus, man. Like, I'll be 25, bro. I'll be flipping this, like, I'll be standing up like this, like, like, what, like, but, like, that's a long time, man. Like, I hope I can stick to it, because then I'll achieve great success, but what if by then I want to achieve success in something else, and this is just kind of boring for me then? Do I want to spend another 6 years on something that isn't really what I care about? Like, in the future, I'm talking about. So it's a big question. You've got to really answer that for yourself, but I don't expect you to answer. I'm big onto this, and I can't even answer it, bro. So it's fair if you can't. So those are the 3 steps. Should I give you a step 4? Okay. What more could I give you? Okay, so there are some work habits you can try out. These are some things that I do. They might help you out with working. So here are like a couple tips. So here's a question for you to ask as well. What work habits could I genuinely stick to for the rest of my life? I say work. What I really mean by work is like the thing that you're trying to achieve mastery in, right? So for example, for me, it could be this YouTube channel. So what I would do is I would try to figure out like what would help me work towards that. Well, how about learning how to resolve the constraints that I was talking about earlier, which is just what I do all day, right? Like if you imagine what I'm doing during the day as you're watching this video, I'm just learning. I'm either asleep or just learning how to resolve these constraints, and occasionally with my family and that. What work habits prior to work could you genuinely stick to for the rest of your life? What work habits during work could you genuinely stick to for the rest of your life? Try and answer those 2 questions. For me, I've got some ideas. I feel like I could always do music. Like instrumental. Do you know what I mean? Like instrumentals when there's no lyrics. Like I could probably always do instrumental music and it would probably actually block out some of the sound. So I could probably stick to that for the rest of my life. That wouldn't be too cool. And I kind of like music, so that's cool. I could nap. You know, naps actually have a 50% alertness boost. For a quick tip. So alertness is just your ability to pay attention. So for example, like your ability to pay attention right now is probably flipping messed up, bro. Like from all the stimulation and the stuff. Naps literally boost alertness and like productivity by 50%. I think that's like a 17-minute nap, but you can do it for like 5 minutes. I feel like naps are something that I could probably do for the rest of my life. Like maybe if at one point I decide to go all in on energy, then like maybe not, but I don't know. But like a 2-minute nap, I feel like I could always sort of do for like that 50%. Like astronauts literally do have naps because of the alertness boost, and like maybe food, and then some habits during work. I already gave you one for focus. Also, a tip for learning: just find the actionable advice. I think I already gave you that one, but like just a quick, just to say it in more like, you know, like here, this is what you do. Jeez, I hope that was interesting, bro. This is really my priority right now. Just sometime this month, I'm gonna make like a full like 2-hour video on just self mastery and everything I know about this subject. This is just some stuff that I can just quickly throw at you, just to give you a rough idea of the general concept. So, you want to pick like a couple things, ideally one thing that you want to master. You want to stick to that for 10 years. You want to work very, very hard for that. You want to do focused, deliberate practice, focusing on your weaknesses for 10,000 hours, which is just, you know, like don't take your eyes off the thing. You know, learn how to do the thing better. And then you want to just try to do that, and also think for 10 minutes. What is the constraint? And you'll make twice as much progress every single time you practice. And then just focus on learning that constraint and fixing that constraint. And then try and do that for 10,000 hours. Obviously, that's a long, long time, bro. So just try and pick the things that you could genuinely do 10,000 hours in, and you're not just coping. Could I genuinely play guitar for 10,000 hours? I'd probably get bored at like 500 hours in. So maybe not, right? Could I genuinely record videos for 10,000 hours? Jesus, bro. Like, on these videos, I talk about the stuff I learn. Yeah, because learning's, like, infinite. Ignorance is, like, such, like, so immersive. I could learn, and I could teach, and I could give all of this. And there's so many ways you can get better. And, like you know, it's more of, like, a huge thing. But it's the same for music for some people. So you've got to really, like, think about it. Like, could you generally do 10,000 there? But anyway, yeah, as you can tell, I'm quite passionate about this because this is really my priority right now, and just it's what I'm really focused on. And I'm just any tiny bits I can get, I'm just putting it together to this big thing that I'm teaching you now. Jeez, I was planning on making this like 15 minutes. Okay, anyway, my name is Sam. Our name is 7. Fix your brokenness for your purpose.